Hello everyone, welcome to Among the Embers. It's getting close to the end, folks. But let's start off with the usual round of thanks. We would like to be deeply appreciative to Modiphius for creating this wonderful gaming system. The charming people at Star Trek Online for allowing us to use some of their assets. And Fury the Seraph on DeviantArt who allowed us to create the template, allowed us to create the dedication plaque for the USS Nightingale. This is officially the second to last episode of Among the Embers. And things are heating up. So, who remembers what happened last time?
We did a thing. We did a good thing.
We did a lot of things.
We did a lot of things.
We did the thing that led to the thing with the thing and the thing and the thing and that did. We're going to do this thing now.
You successfully defeated the Crusade incursion at Starbase 235.
234.
234, thank you. I don't know where the 5 came from. I was looking right at the number. Anyway. Yes, despite facing a technologically superior foe with a pretty sizable amount of firepower and, oh yeah, an arc, which, need I remind you, is twice the size of a Borg cube, you, as the USS Nightingale, along with a number of other significant vessels and heroes, broke the spearhead of the Crusade attack and managed to disable and capture the EKS Lucara, the flagship of the assault. And on board, you encountered Matriarch Vandrix, your old nemesis, since all the way back in Season 1, who surrendered the vessel to you and ordered the entire fleet to withdraw. Because apparently she's been having some flashbacks to the whole, actually, I'm not a Crusader, I used to be an Iconian thing. And she's not happy.
And now she's going by her old name of Tiquette.
Indeed. Which is a cute little Easter egg for anyone out there who plays STO. Anyway, she also revealed to you the true nature of your main enemy. To the effect of, yeah, the Crusade is big and scary, but if their goddess was up and running properly, then you'd already be dead. Because she's a living star who snacks on supernovas. So that's fun.
So that is fun.
And apparently, you likely only have a few days before she manages to reach full strength and is able to take to the field herself. At which point, Tiquette is fairly convinced that nothing that any of you can do will be able to stop her.
No pressure.
So, current plan on the table would appear to be getting the Lucara sufficiently repaired to take it into the heart of the Crusade Armada and then use its rift generator with some modifications to banish the entire Crusade fleet to its alternate dimension. A task for which Tiquette has offered her help and her input. And that is where we rejoin things.
Oh, the Admiral is so not going to be happy.
Which one?
Yes.
Emerald. I would imagine Stila will probably be more unhappy, given that we are now helping an enemy of the Empire.
Sela is grumpy. And Janeway is not exactly thrilled. And all of the rest of the Admiralty and various other forces who received the reports and are checking through things are like, you cannot be serious. This is our last hope. This is the situation we're in. What the hell? But there don't appear to be a lot of good alternatives. Assuming Taket is being honest, and there have definitely been some questions, particularly from the Phoenix Quarter, as to whether or not she's just lying her head off to you. Assuming that she is being honest, you don't have a lot of tools to deal with a non-corporeal energy being on that scale. Especially one that seemingly is hooked into a starship. Because warp cores are big and powerful. They're lovely. Matter-antimatter reactions, just loads of power. It's lovely. But it's not quite on the same level as,
The
something big
fusion
enough to
power
disrupt
output of a star. Yeah. I mean, it also kind of depends on the star, but I'm assuming we're not talking about, tiny little brown dwarfs or something.
Probably not.
Or any other generic star.
Oh, stars get pretty weird, even the generic ones.
Yes,
Fair
Bob.
point.
I mean, there were some discussions of trilithium weaponry and such like, because, that's been proved to be pretty effective against stars.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about them.
And once everyone kind of got over the possibility of, are we seriously talking about using a banned weapon of mass destruction? General consensus was, that's a great idea in theory, but I'm not sure that it necessarily applies to a energy being. Because that really only works if, one, she's big enough to have a whole gravitational cycle thing akin to a star, and two, if she actually functions on fusion. Neither of which are guaranteed.
Well, maybe we could do something similar to what the Firehawk and the Takorex did with Thaleron weaponry and have a few tweaks to it.
Well, several Federation representatives just flat out put their foot down on the use of Thaleron. And it's also Thaleron, like the Thaleron pulse, which you used in Beta Volantis, certainly took out all of their servants, but it didn't seem to be super effective against the Crusade. It just knocked them out for a time.
Well, hence the tweaks that we did to it, so it was made more effective to the Crusaders.
Mm.
I guess that would be the question in terms of that line of questioning. Then, is Masaka also made out of anaphasic energy, or is she something else completely? Because it's all well and good if we fine tune a Thaleron weapon to disrupt anaphasic energy, but if she's not made out of that, then we're in trouble.
And according to Taket, when everyone finally agrees to consult her, no, she's not.
That's what I was afraid of.
She is not an anaphasic being.
Mind you, I'm not terribly surprised. I'm just, yeah.
She's not entirely sure what type of energy being she is, because she's treated as a god. The Crusade hasn't exactly done much study.
Go figure.
Of course, you don't study your gods, you just take them at their word.
Yep. Of course, nothing wrong ever happened from doing that.
I mean, in their defense, we are talking about a very serious case of mind control here.
That too, yeah.
Yes, the Crusade dream.
Yup.
If you recall, while Crusaders are sleeping in the other dimension, waiting for the next grand cycle to occur, they are all in a shared dream, which apparently is of the original homeworld of the Darce.
Alright, back.
I wonder if there's a way we could disrupt that. I don't think it would be like the one-hit knockout punch, but if we robbed Masaka of her entire support base, that would probably cause problems.
Good Baldo.
An empire taken down from within cannot rise again.
Oh. Like I said, I'm not sure it would diffuse the situation completely. Because if she is a god and she does have a lot of powers, then just removing the Crusade from her bag of tools is not going to take away her bag of tools.
I know, I'm just pointing out that it would be a significant thing for her.
Best case scenario, she'd have to do everything herself, which I imagine is difficult. Otherwise, why would she bother with having a Crusade in the first place? But even in a best case scenario, I wouldn't imagine that to stop her, not entirely. So we'd need to find something else to do after that.
Oh, why don't we get the ball rolling and see if we can find out?
Have we thought about the jellyfish project?
The red matter?
Oh. Do we still have that?
Nope.
Oh, he took
It
all.
was, yeah,
all of the red matter has been used. The ore used to create it is extremely rare, and you've not found another source which could be able to produce it. And the jellyfish itself was a prototype vehicle designed to withstand the gravimetric shear of a black hole, and you don't have any of those to spare. So it's one of those things which is kind of on the table of, if we can kick them out of the galaxy for a few years, then that's something we can try and redevelop. But right now, nobody likes it, but the general consensus is we're going to continue with the original plan, which in this case means we're going to have to use Belakara, and we will accept the cat's help to smuggle you into the Crusade Armada. Because Taket's information has been good so far. Scouts and long-range sensors indicate that the entire Crusade fleet, in all of its subdivisions, are withdrawing to one system.
All the arcs as well, I assume?
Yep. They are all converging. Is that... Go away. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna... what?
Whoa.
Oops.
Don't do that. Okay, Tronomi Saw.
No me. So. Ah, there it is.
Oh. Yep. I see it.
Which, everyone was a little confused about this, and then a cloaked cloaked vessel did a flyby to get some long-range scans and noted some weird energy fluctuations. That star is not putting out as much energy as it should.
Masaka is consuming it, isn't she?
That is the consensus.
Is this just a star snack, or is she just trying to create another nova?
If they wanted to create another nova, then they have the weapons to do it quickly and easily.
Fair enough.
If I remember the whole thing about the supernova, they did it in a very specific way to burn out a lot of energy and then shunt it to the other dimension.
Right.
There's no particular indication that they'd actually be immune to a supernova in this universe. Which is probably why they don't just use it as a weapon of mass destruction. It's just a first strike tool. But this does leave you in the situation of the Lucara has been patched together, and we're taking on volunteers for a high-risk mission to take it to Trinomi Sar in what a lot of analysts are calling a suicide mission.
I presume Tiket is going.
Yep.
Then Nas is going too.
Yeah. For all, like Stefan says, I volunteer.
So the Nightingale's not going to be involved at all during this episode, or?
Yep, you are basically done with the Nightingale. Minor spoiler, but you will not be using her again in this campaign.
Oh, she's a good ship.
Gotcha.
She is a good
So
ship.
obviously, them being the foremost engineer on everything Crusade, I guess he's going too. Not
So
thrilled
you're
about it,
you're
but he's
looking for
going.
a helmsman. I'm gonna fly the nacelles off this thing, don't you know?
Then fly her apart, then.
I mean, technically, as far as the Klingons are concerned, it's your ship, so
We
I
did
know.
steal. We did take it.
I would think the Klingons would call, hey, this is our ship because it's an ancestral vessel of the Empire.
Nah, Bjorn took it through force of arms. It's
Right,
his.
right.
By Klingon law, it is.
Yep.
yep.
Gotcha.
And now you plan to take it on a glorious suicide mission into the teeth of the enemy. That's they have nothing to say. This is A+. Good job. Very Klingon.
My God, the Federation enacting a Klingon plan. What is the world coming to?
And unlike
Klingon,
Broken Circle,
such honor.
it's
Wow.
unlike Broken Circle, it's one which might succeed.
I know, right?
I'm still angry about Broken Circle years on.
Okay, remind me, it's been a while since I ran through the Iconian arc. What was Broken Circle again?
It's the one where we send
Throw
the
the
fleet.
entire alliance. Throw the entire alliance against the Iconian sphere and try to assassinate a
Matara?
yeah, and
That one.
kind of killed an Iconian and otherwise lost like half the fleet, and it all happened because there was a Klingon in charge. Just absurd casualties and yeah, no, bad.
And we lost a god on our side.
Oh
He was
yeah,
a
we
clone of
did.
a god, but he was still a god.
Kalis.
Yep.
We lost Kalis before that. We lost him in House Pech.
Right.
I mean, we did
Anyway.
manage to kill
Matara,
Yeah.
but it was at too great a cost.
Oh, absolutely. No, the whole thing was kind of pointless.
But to get back,
All it really did was piss off the other 11. So
but to get back to what we're doing now, this is what I'm envisioning us doing on our on our little suicide trip.
oh dear, very appropriate. Yeah. Is that? Would you like to lead the crew in the Klingon war chant? Bjorn?
Sure.
Excellent. Actually, you know what? I think. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on a moment. I can do something magical. Alright. So, you all volunteer. There is a skeleton crew to keep the thing running. Tiket joins you on the bridge. The ship is mostly functional. It has a cloaking device. It has a warp core. It has a rift generator. Anything else is gravy.
That's all we need, right?
Pretty much.
Well, here's my question. Do we need disguises?
Yes, you do. In fact.
Okay, because I was having a thought with one thing Bintuck have been working on is, I don't know if we would say we have these yet. I'll let the GM decide. Holographic disguises, or do we want to actually make some form of Crusade-looking armor that fits around us?
I would assume that we probably just do either cosmetic changes or just give us some garb them and just say we're part of the Crusade not brainwashed, but duped forces.
I don't know if that would fly.
Ventot, I would like from you a daring engineering roll.
Ooh.
Daring engineering roll, huh?
This will determine if we get in the holographic disguises or not.
This is going to be a difficulty of 2, and Commander Ramis, I would like a daring science roll from you, also difficulty 2.
Okay. Would any of my focuses apply?
Um,
I'm wondering if computers would, but
no, I don't think so.
okay.
By the way, momentum and threat counters are accurate.
Yeah. Start of a new episode. I'll go ahead and forego calling momentum for this, because then guess what? Let's see. Unless you guys think I should call momentum for it.
What's the difficulty of your roll?
This is 2. Isn't that right?
Yep, it's 2 for both of you.
Was it assisted by anything?
No, this is pretty much a straight engineering thing, unless you want to. Yeah, no, I'm not sure there's any assists possible here.
You said 2 for both of you. Is someone else rolling 2?
Yeah, insight science from you, please. Sorry, daring science, not insight.
Okay. I missed that while I was watching the Klingon song.
Okay. Rolling. Oh!
Oh no! Would any of my
start.
would any of my focuses apply?
Quantum physics.
Okay. Double click everything. Okay. All right.
Okay. So, the two of you, when you're not busy trying to get the ship together, work alongside an engineering team, which is basically trying to reverse engineer Crusade armor into a disguise. And it's, let's face it, it's not great. The stuff is designed to contain an energy being, not a person. And the engineering side of the things in particular is tricky. Because the Crusade used some pretty exotic alloys. So you can't just straight up replicate something.
We have to use what's on hand.
Yep. So you eventually manage to cobble together suits of armor for everyone, which, at least more or less, look like Crusade armor. Unfortunately, they're going to be basically useless in a fight. That's the complication. You have to take out so much that they don't really offer any protective value anymore. But the good news is that the secondary part, which is a cute little device which produces an anaphasic energy signature, means that you should, to scanners at least, appear to be Crusaders.
Now, are they expecting the ship to be entirely crewed by Crusaders, or will there be some Klingons they expect?
They would expect a mixture of Crusaders and Klingons. But to be fair, the evacuation was sounded before you beamed aboard and took control, so...
Yeah, and the last Crusade carrier picked up those escape pods before fleeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, surgical infiltration into Klingon is an alternative option if you want it, but there's kind of upsides and downsides to both routes. I leave that up to you.
Well, even with those escape pods had launched, there were still a small number of Klingons and Crusaders left on the Lucara.
That's correct, because everyone was going slightly insane.
I guess we could do a mixture of both.
That's what we're considering right now. If we want to do that, or just stick with our skeleton crew as it is.
Well, the skeleton crew to keep the ship running are getting Klingon surgery, because you don't have enough armor to go around.
Mm-hmm.
But the five of you can choose which one you want to go for.
I think Bjorn is going to go for Klingon surgery since he already has the armor.
Alrighty.
Nas is going to stick with the Crusader idea. I'm not sure they could cut her down to size.
You would be a very big Klingon. I mean, you can be a very big crusader, but to be fair, the elite guards are not small. So
Yeah.
We could always pull the Ricky or the Wookiee prisoner.
Gag.
alrighty.
Pharrell's gonna go with the Crusader idea.
I
He
think
doesn't like.
Ventot will too.
Pharrell is gonna just plainly state that he's not a big fan of fangs.
And Ventot doesn't like surgery in general, but he doesn't want anything. It's going to be hard enough using a armor to do engineering things, so he wants to be able to, at least if he has to, take things off. At least have the option of taking things off to be able to do engineering work if he needs to. And I don't want things that could be blocking him. I guess I don't know. I don't want to say anymore.
You want ease of use.
Yes.
Captain, what were you saying?
It's like, I could be a Klingon. It's a lot more work than some people, I think.
Well, it would mean. I would think it would mean kind of like surgically, like hiding, or I don't want to say removing your antennas, and that's kind of a big thing for an Andorian.
Yeah, but that cultural stigma of the antennas kind of goes away when you're talking about, this very big of a...
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the antennas should not be ignored, because look what happened to Shran when one of them was cut off. He had balance issues.
Yeah, it's more like hiding it using maybe using a wig to hide them.
Yeah.
Just switched, not removed.
That's what I thought.
Squeesh. All right. So we have 2 Klingons and 3 Crusaders. All right. Cool.
I don't suppose the prisoner idea would actually have worked anyway. As amusing as that is.
Actually, you know what? It would work, but only because it's you. Because Nas actually does have a reputation in the Crusade.
Yes, because remember what Taket said, that Masaka would take an interest in Nas after the pounding that he gave to Taket.
Because if you recall, Taket got her role as Harbinger of the Crusade because she killed the last one.
So, if we basically show up and if anyone asks, Taket has taken Nas prisoner. This is amusing to Nas. This is a... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking, though, considering that Taket is the current Harbinger and you had not killed her, would that negate the possibility of them wanting you as the next Harbinger? It's like a chicken and the egg kind of thing with me.
Well, they don't know that Nas already defeated her once.
Yep.
Before this encounter.
They'll still be interested. The Crusade respects strength.
Very Klingon in that regard.
So if you want to play the prisoner and potential forced recruit, then that is an option that you can take.
Yeah, like me and whoever else is disguised as Crusaders could be like the prison guard, the prisoners' guards or something.
You want to go for that?
I mean, if Taket thinks this is a good idea, sure.
She seems to think it's hilarious.
Oh, good.
But she's got a really warped sense of humor, so make of that what you will. Anyway.
It's on the table until we actually get there. then it's up in the air.
The Lakara. That's off.
Pharrell's walking around like, this armor is a little bit different than I thought it would be. So is this glaive. I actually kind of like it.
That's a good point, actually. You guys are going to get Crusader weapons.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I can say Vintas, like we're trying to work a station going. I'm almost kind of wish I went the Klingon route because I'm getting a little bit claustrophobic in this helmet.
Alright.
And Talia is fully playing the part. She's already acting.
Is she disguised as a Klingon? Did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was that wonderful thing you said you were going to do, Lazu, when I brought up that Klingon war song?
Okay. I'm gonna do this. Bjorn, do you want to lead the chant?
Sure. I have no idea what I'm leading, but yes, I am leading the war chant.
It's basically what I linked in Discord.
So yes, commence heroic chanting with hard consonants.
Excellent. Yeah, I remember that I'd seen this in the sound clips, and I was like, ooh, I actually have use for this now.
Always enjoy Klingon war chants.
Yeah, that's my favorite song.
They're pretty good. Alright, so, one last bit of preparation before we get into everything's terrible. You can basically pick whatever equipment you want. That includes getting rifles without the normal cost. Because, like, you're going into some pretty serious stuff, and you're basically not going to get a chance to change your equipment again. So, you have a bunch of Klingon disruptors available to you. You also have the option of Crusader laceracers.
I don't suppose we could get one of those halberds.
I mean, it did just state that Pharrell was holding a glaive.
You wouldn't actually have one of those.
Oh.
Just because they're not that common, they're only used by the elite guard.
Oh, okay.
There's basically there's four types of Crusader weapon, basically. You've got the basic pistol and the basic rifle, which are used by the vast majority of the troops. You've got the big glaives, which are used by the elite guards. And then leaders and important figures get spears. And in fact, the cat actually gifted her spear to...
Oh, that's right.
So I will happily give you the stats for the spear. Vintot, Pharrell, do you just want lacerator rifles, or...?
Yes.
Works for me.
Alrighty.
I'll go for the spear.
Bjorn is going to opt for a batleth and a disruptor rifle.
I would think you wanted to use your battle axe.
He's in disguise.
As
A
much as it
Klingon with a
pains.
battle axe is going to stand out.
I mean, Klingons have a wide variety of weapons, but yeah, the batleth is the common favorite.
All right.
Being as dressed as captain, pistol and a mechleth. She could. That's the probably the best I'll be able to do. And I'm not even gonna.
Alrighty. I'll finish dropping all the stats and showing the break, because that's going to take a little while. But for all I did put yours on, so you can have a sneak peek at exactly what that thing does.
What now?
I dropped the stats for lacerator on your sheet, so you can see.
Okay. Ooh.
It's a lot of keywords.
Accurate, debilitating shield drain. Intense.
Alrighty.
I just had a memory and a thought. Back with a real first boss fight with what's her name from Blackthorn?
Cecina?
Yeah, her weapon. Was that destroyed, or do we still have that lying around somewhere?
I think we
That was-
destroyed that.
That was a T-something disruptor, the illegal kind.
That was a Veron T disruptor.
Veron T.
Yeah.
You managed to get it, but it was promptly taken away and locked up because that thing is super illegal.
Yeah.
Okay. I figured maybe something like desperate time, desperate measures type of thing. But
Okay, yeah, Starfleet is taking a big chance with all of this. I doubt they would let us use a Veron T disruptor regardless.
Bearing in mind that the Veron T is also not the most effective weapon, it's just really needlessly cruel.
Yeah.
It's not really that much more powerful than a basic disruptor pistol. It's just
more calibrated it's more calibrated just to be a cruel, sadistic dictator.
okay, moving on.
anyway.
Yep.
You actually, Vindot, could I get a control engineering check from you?
Sure.
Difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. I would like to take a momentum if anybody cares.
Go ahead.
That's fine by me.
Just because I don't like how my last roll went.
Yeah.
No more complications.
Okay. And let's see. And once again, I ask, does it involve anything with me working on a computer or any of my focus is applied?
I'll allow troubleshooting.
Oh. Okay. So 3. Oh, I need to change my. What was the engineering and what?
Control.
Control. Alright. Engineering control. Double click. Double click. Double click. Double click.
Oh, well.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is that an ass?
Fancy.
Goodness. Alrighty.
That's like 2 more momentum for us, right?
Yes, it is. Puts you up 4. Alrighty. Yes, you. The Lucara is old, but and of course you shot it quite a lot recently, but it holds together surprisingly well.
I mean, it's also really tough.
Oh yeah. So yeah, no concerns there. Pharrell, would you like to do some long-range scans?
Yes, I would.
Alrighty.
Control science or reason science?
It's reason science.
Could my astrophysics focus apply?
In this case, I will allow it, yes. And I will roll for the... I'll roll for the Lakara, but don't expect it to be... Don't expect it to do well, because its senses and science stats are garbage.
Well, I got technical expertise, so I can re-roll if need be. At least it's not a complication. Okay. Just double checking everything. Yeah.
I don't think you need that reroll.
Yeah, I'm like thinking, should I re-roll at 0 or not?
It's up to you.
Oh, gee, I just remembered I had cautious. I could have used that in the last roll. To re-roll one of those, couldn't I? A complication?
It's fine.
You didn't spend any momentum on it, so you couldn't.
Only if momentum. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna re-roll that 0.
And it pays off. Alrighty.
Huzzah for momentum generation.
4 successes.
Does that take us over the limit or something?
Yeah, that technically puts you up to 7. So...
Is there anything I could do with that immediately, or...?
Capped out at 6 momentum. You've got a bonus 1 because you're a science officer. So you basically have 2 momentum to spend on asking extra questions.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Okay.
In terms of what you see from your basic scan, yes, Trinomi's is definitely experiencing some kind of energy drain on it. And you can even pinpoint where the source is. It appears to be focused on some kind of large object on the near side of the sun as you enter the system.
Alright, first question is, did he get a more focused scan on that object?
Fortunately, I did not have time this week to produce a view screen image for you because I think it could have been cool, but I'm also not entirely sure I would have had the Photoshop skills to make it, so...
Well, I'm assuming this is Misaka's arc, right?
Yes, it is.
And it's just the same. It's just the same thing, but a little bit bigger than the usual arcs, right?
Not quite.
Oh.
You focus in, and amidst a kind of unnervingly large fleet of Crusade vessels, including, yes, 4 normal arcs, there is...
4?
4. There is a 5th vessel stationed right in the outer layer of the sun. You can see the surface sort of welling up and washing over this vessel, and it doesn't seem to care whatsoever about the fact that it's actually being touched by a sun. In fact, it seems to be siphoning the energy, or all of the glowing, which you'd expect from the heat, is just sort of coruscating into several long tendrils which are dipping down into the star itself, which then just gets sucked up into a large hollow space at the front, which has been opened up. And yes, it's about 50% larger than the other Crusade vessels.
Pharrell is just dumbstruck at what he's seeing and relays that telemetry to the view screen. Okay. No one's going to react to that.
Oh, I'll react. From an engineering standpoint, my goodness, so that looks like a large engineering feat right there. I'd like to get a closer look at. But if I were to say anything, that looks like that might be Masaka's chariot or ship.
Is there a difference in this case?
I didn't know how he wanted to define it.
And for the next question, well, you already told me that there's a substantial Crusade force here, so what else could I ask?
I could give you numbers on the Crusaders.
Okay, yeah. Give me that.
Well, I already said that there's 4 arcs. You're also looking at in the region of 25 heavy carriers and upwards of 200 smaller vessels.
Shit-eating son of a batch of cookies.
We need to be very careful.
I mean, this isn't the largest fleet ever seen by any standards. The Dominion War consisted of much larger concentrations of vessels. But the Dominion wasn't quite this technologically advanced. I mean, the Nightingale has had some decent luck fighting these things one-on-one, but
Yeah.
the Crusade excels at attrition warfare. Anytime they get into a slow, grinding brawl, they just suck the life out of ships and move on untouched. You cannot beat them piecemeal. And the Dominion had some big stuff, but a lot of it was crushing.
They didn't have arcs.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, heck, the battle to retake Deep Space Nine, their fleet alone consisted of 1,254 ships.
Mm-hmm. And their big reinforcement wave was, of course, 2,800 ships.
Yeah.
So, it's not the same kind of numbers, but does it need to be?
And we're just facing just over 200 vessels here.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho.
Including 4 ships which are larger than anything that the Federation successfully engaged, and a 5th one which apparently is one of the closest things to a god you're likely to meet. So,
I vote we do this quick and get the hell out of here just as quick.
oh yeah, there's also probably in the region of 200 to 300 Lucaran and assorted other vessels which have been pulled in.
Okay, so really we're dealing with relatively 500 vessels.
Yep. This is their entire force. Everything they have.
Have your fingers on the warp buttons, on the warp engines ready.
Oh yes, I've been ready.
How should we approach? I see 2 options in this instance. Remain in cloak and approach as quietly as possible, or make our presence known as a ship attempting to reconnect with the fleet. I think the latter might be the safer option. Strange as that might sound.
I would have to concur. I think coming out of cloak, like really close to something, might scare someone to firing at us.
Tiket has just been quietly staring at the view screen, and in particular at Masaka's arc. But at this point, she glances around. We would need to decloak to use the rift generator anyway. I am happy to take on the role of the returning herald. There'll be questions asked, of course, but I should be able to get us to the center of the fleet.
You said back at Starbase 234 that they're still relatively confused from the retreat call you issued.
As I said, there will be questions. Most likely, I'll be required to report to the command vessel.
Which will, of course, bring us right into their midst. That is, in fact, very convenient. And, to aid with your questions, you do have, well, me.
Yes, I do. Drop the cloak, and let us proceed.
Make it so.
Disengaging cloak.
Well, very swiftly, you have a ragtag pack of perimeter vessels coming to inspect you, along with a hail being received.
Nas is going to give Tiket back her spear.
That sounds like a wise plan.
They're sending a welcoming committee for us, and they're hailing.
This is it. On screen.
Tiket just sort of settles herself. And now I talk to myself for 5 minutes.
You can summarize the conversation if you want, since I don't think any of us are going to be intervening.
Yeah, I'm
Unless
gonna do that,
invited.
actually. Because otherwise this just gets silly.
Yeah, well.
It's because I don't have
exposition here.
I don't have that much variation in my Crusade voice, so...
I mean, unless you want to recruit one of us to be the other side of the conversation.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is that everyone's a little confused and suspicious. The Lucara was apparently declared lost with all hands, and for it to suddenly reappear, apparently repaired, even if in a slapdash fashion, after a retreat order had been given while the battle was still kind of in the balance. It's a little odd. But Tiket's prediction appears to be correct. The idea of a crusader actually betraying their people just doesn't seem to cross their minds.
It was all a clever ploy to lure them into my hands.
That's basically the approach that she takes, and she rather proudly drags you in front of the view screen and shows you off. Look, I caught a lizard.
Look, I caught the lizard.
It's
Yes,
true.
well.
It's not just any lizard. It's the lizard.
Lizard.
It's,
Nas will be suitably grumpy, but otherwise compliant.
I didn't catch any big scaly lizard. I caught the big scaly lizard. I don't know why the Kung Fu Panda reference came to mind, but whatever. Anyway, there's a little bit of back and forth, and then the Crusader on the other end just pauses, inclines their head, and their image winks out. The one that replaces it, you've seen once before, in Beta Lankal. It's the masked visage of Masaka.
Oh boy.
Ventile keeps trying to work his console and not make eye contact with the screen.
You've returned, Harbinger. Yes, I have, my queen. And I have brought the one who defeated me before. I have heard some disturbing stories of the battle. Report to me. I wish to hear them myself. Yes, my queen. And the view screen winks out.
Breathe a sigh of, okay, step one, okay.
So far, so good.
Nothing unexpected then.
Not yet, anyway.
True.
Now, well, we'll just have to work out what we do after we cross over.
Stall.
What is the plan after we cross over? Because all we discussed was just the Wookiee prisoner gag. I assume we're going to be. I assume we got something else going on behind the curtains, as it were.
So, from summarizing just a little bit, the idea is to get the Lucara into the Crusades dimension, jigger with their rift generator on board, and basically reverse their portals, draw the Crusade back into their own dimension, and
Okay.
hopefully trap them there for a while.
I mean, that's close. The Federation plan was to use the trigger the rift generator in this dimension and banish everything else.
Right.
In theory, you should never end up on the other side, which makes Ticket's comment a little weird.
Nas will kind of give her a look. You don't think we can activate the rift on this side?
Of course we can.
But... it will draw us in as well, won't it?
Yes. I'm sorry, was that part not clear to you all?
I suspected. Because anything powerful enough to draw in those monstrosities out there would have no issue pulling us in.
Oh, I don't think it's a matter of physical draw, so much as the... No, I'm no engineer, but I presume it will affect anything with Crusade technology or energy signatures, which this vessel has.
Well, no, nobody informed me of the possibility of being thrown across back, but I suspect Nas is right. We have that darn rift generator itself down there that can probably pull us in.
More than that, this vessel has been soaked in the radiation of the void. As a result, it will be drawn in like a magnet. Many of these subsidiary vessels will likely be untouched, but this, along with every Crusade vessel, will be banished. Once on the other side, well, I personally plan to board that vessel and attempt to gain vengeance for my people. The way she says it indicates that she doesn't really believe that she's going to succeed, but what else is she going to do?
Please tell me we put like a couple of like auxiliary craft on this thing, just in case, just in the possible hope of escape.
Yeah, there's a couple of there's a shuttlecraft on here, which
like just
was used to shuttle things around.
Like just a rinky-dink shuttlecraft, or like an actual like runabout or something.
It's probably a full-size runabout.
All right. And Pharrell's gonna state, well, once we kick things off, we'll have a very small window to escape. Let's hope that runabout can do just that.
I suspect that it would result in your immediate death, as their servants take vengeance, but you are welcome to take that option.
Well, if our allies are watching closely, they may come into our rescue, but...
Sorry, quick question. I'm just making sure I understand. For her to meet with Masaka, she's got to go back to their dimension. Is that what they're saying?
Yep.
It's, well, no, it's the whole thing of, the Lakara is going to the center of the fleet, it triggers the rift generator, kicks itself and the entire Crusade fleet to the other dimension, and then she's going to go over to Masaka's ship and confront her.
Okay.
And we may or may not have a way back out.
What is that charming Klingon phrase?
Today is a good day to die.
Vintot's going, no, it's not. I would never have joined this mission if I knew we were not going to be able to make it back. He's kind of hyperventilating, about ready to go into a freak out.
Much glory. Such honor.
Calm yourself,
Wow.
Commander.
Pharrell turns and puts a hand on him. Calm yourself. Focus on the task at hand. We all knew this is going to be a one-way trip, likely.
I didn't realize it was going to be this bad.
The ship is now passing through the ranks of the Crusade towards the main arc, which you see beginning to rise from out of the fires of the star. Energy's licking around it, and then slowly fading and being sucked in as it moves to join the main fleet.
ostentatious, just a bit.
No one said the Crusade were subtle.
She has played the role of a god for a very, very long time. These things stick with you.
I wonder if defeat will humble her.
Only one way to find out.
The Lucara continues to advance. And then settles to a halt in front of Masaka's vessel. Despite quite how large the Lucara is, it's just
The size of
a shuttlecraft.
yeah.
As the Ford Hollow seals away, you do get a brief glimpse of something that does look bright enough to be a star in the depths of the ship. Well, Ventert, is that your name?
Voice crack. Yes.
I believe now is the time to put the plan into action. Engage the rift generator.
He looks at the captain.
It's now or never.
Understood.
Pharrell moves over by him to assist.
He starts powering up the rift generator. Pressing console keys very slowly, making sure he doesn't press the wrong button.
That'd be bad.
And he goes,
Alright.
It's powering up.
This is going to be a control engineering check.
Control engineering. It's fun. Like this last game, I didn't have any roles to do. Now I got so many important roles to do.
All the rolls.
Control engineering. Difficulty?
Alright, so your difficulty is going to be 4.
Okay. I am taking a momentum.
Sounds good.
And I am working at a computer. What's my thing with that?
I was gonna say take 2.
Yeah, I would say like spend 3 momentum to get 2 more die.
Okay, we've got it to spare. Also, BRB, gonna use the restroom.
Sure. Yep, and you will get yeah, Pharrell, you can assist.
Okay, so 4
This is going to be control engineering, assisted by quantum physics.
Okay. Will computers fall into play here for my focus?
No, but it's a little bit of a stretch, but I'll allow it under the circumstances. I will allow warp field dynamics.
Okay. And I'm trying to think of that. Okay. I can't use that one when I'm in ownership. I'm okay. Cautious or technical expertise.
Are you in fact going to be spending 3 momentum for 2 more die?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I got my task roll set to 4. My
Focus,
focus is yes. Okay. And if I get a bad one, remember I can use cautious.
You do also have the option of burning determination.
I only have. How many do I have? I think I only got one.
You have one. Everyone starts a mission with 1, unless they end the last session with more.
Alright. Okay, well, we'll start with this. And we'll see. Okay, rolling. And can I use cautious to reroll 2 of those?
Cautious. You may reroll a single d20.
So just 1.
Yeah.
Alright, did we blow up?
We're determining that.
No!
Hang on, is the ship assist... never mind. We're not using sensors, so I was gonna propose... expertise, but never mind.
Well, let's see if the ship gives you anything.
You do also have a point of determination.
Ship pushes you over the edge.
Yay!
Yippee!
So... wait, no, not that one.
Fitting. Very fitting.
The rift generator kicks to life. The entire nose of the Lucara visibly starting to glow. And then this pulse of yellow energy fires forwards, forming first just this little yellow bubble, and then it starts to expand. And what you see is a window into nothingness. The communications board suddenly lights up as everyone's clearly asking, what the hell are you doing? And then they send the police for you. And of course you ignore it because you're busy trying to ensure that the thing holds together. You've seen these rifts before, a couple of times. And they were very defined. Very coherent. Very controlled. Clearly very advanced technology at work.
But this
isn't. This is unstable. You can see the edges distorting and wavering. And then just waves of yellow light start spilling out, washing over every ship nearby, just spreading out over the system. And then the rift starts to just quivers again, and then explodes outwards. There is a brief moment of disorientation, and then the entire Lucara begins shaking as though a giant has taken hold of it and is just rattling it around.
I believe that's our cue to get out of here. Taket, give Masaka our regards.
You have... Oh, you plan to leave. You should have already been moving.
Say what now?
You're a little late in starting to move. You might make it if you run, but I doubt it.
Can Bintot leave his post and not can keep running the generator?
Oh, there's nothing to run anymore. This is a self-sustaining reaction.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now it's just every person for themselves.
Nas is actually going to turn to to the captain and salute. Captain Jazonen, it has been an honor and a privilege to serve you.
Die well.
Pharrell looks over at her. You're intending to go with her?
Someone needs to cover your escape. I haven't used disruptors before, but I'd love the chance to try.
It was a privilege to work with you, Nas.
You as well, Commander.
Mintot looks at Nas, but Nas can't see his face because of the mask. And he realizes that for a moment. He takes it off and goes, I wish we couldn't have got a chance to know each other a bit better. Good luck. And follows them out.
Commander Bong. Kapla.
Blah, Commander.
So everyone's leaving except Naz?
Nas is going to move to the tactical station and see if she can get any of the disruptors online.
To be honest, I thought she was.
I'd be more worried about structural integrity right now. To be
Well, maybe, but she's no engineer.
Alright, well,
Well, I imagine some of the Klingon crew will be staying on just to die gloriously. So you might have help there.
That's true, actually. Alright. Everyone else is going for the runabout then?
Yep. That was the plan, right?
Alrighty.
And to be honest, I thought Nas was going over with Tiket to fight Masaka.
Well, yeah. That's why she's
Okay.
staying on the Lucara.
Oh. Never mind then. Bolting for the runabout.
Alright. I was about to ask for a roll from Talia, but I think I should probably ask for it from Bjorn, given the stats involved. I need a command fitness roll.
Alright.
I mean, do we want this to succeed? Actually, my fitness isn't too bad.
Your fitness is 8. It's one above the minimum.
Yeah. Well,
Let's be fair, that comes to a 13, which is only one lower than Bjorn's.
Alright, do I get composure on this one, given what it is?
I think under the circumstances, yeah, you're coaching a bunch of people to run like hell to escape, to be able to get to a shuttle, to be able to escape a runaway trans-dimensional catastrophe, basically. So
Yikes.
I think that fits.
Does that make it, or do I need to invoke my value?
I didn't actually give a chance to give you your difficulty. Your difficulty for this is... your difficulty is 2, so no, you don't.
Alright.
I
Invoking
I
my
will...
body and vortex a strong mind value.
I will, if you like, because you rolled before I gave you a difficulty, I will allow you to spend a momentum retroactively to roll another dice. Just this once.
Do you want to do that, or just go for your value?
I'll go for my value, and I'll actually burn the remaining 3 momentum to roll 4 dice.
Okay.
Oh boy.
That's more like it.
Okay. So yes, that is 4 successes, which gets you 2 momentum back. Oh wait, that's why it all went over here. Which one's this? No, let's go something with a little more oomph.
A little more oomph, if you please.
Sure. Okay. So you are dashing through the corridors of the Lucara. The handful of Federation crewmen moving to join you, scrambling onto the runabout, and you can see through the force field of the shuttle bay. There's fewer stars than there should be. You are low on time. Bjorn, I'm going to need. But the good news is that everyone does make it onto the runabout, and it would appear that you're not too late to just get out. So, daring con, please, with a difficulty of 3. I feel like you've got 4 different focuses, which could help here, so take your pick.
Yeah. I'm also going to grab one of the momentum for a 3rd die.
Okay.
Is the ship helping me too?
Yes. Yes, it is. Let me find the runabouts.
Alright, that's a success.
Now we just need the runabout to make one.
Yep.
Alrighty. That is still enough. That is 3 successes. The runabouts, my mute music keeps stopping, and it's annoying. Sure. The runabout slips out of the shuttle bay of the Lucara, and you can see behind the hull probably shouldn't be buckling like that. But you can see all around you the Crusade fleet is just flickering out of existence. And
what about the minion forces of the Crusade?
Some of them are. There's a fair number that aren't. They do appear to be in some disarray, but you do notice, to your distress, that you might not be quite quick enough. Like, you've got clear of the Lucara, and it does appear that you've managed to put enough distance between you, get the shields up, all this sort of thing, that the gravitational stresses that you're feeling aren't just going to rip the shuttle apart. But the stars still aren't looking too happy. And we're going to take a quick break there.
I figured.
Oh boy.
Because among other things, I need to work out whether I even want to allow you to escape this. Because if you don't, it's literally just going to be one-on-one for Naz for the last mission. So, unless I do something really funky, which I could, that could be interesting.
I mean, Starfleet officers have pulled off the impossible before.
I mean, Naz has a history of dealing with every major antagonist so far,
Yeah.
almost single-handed. So,
This is almost fitting.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Nas started the one-on-one. He's gonna die with the one-on-one. She's gonna die.
Back.
Alrighty. So, you are in the shuttlecraft. The universe is trying to decide whether or not to exist. You can see behind you on sensors the Lucara. Actually, you can see those stonking great warp nacelles on either side of you. Just buckling, not looking super happy. And of course, behind you there is a small city-sized ship. Actually, fairly large-sized city ship.
I was going to say, there's nothing small about it.
Which is just... You can almost sense that it's clinging, trying not to be pulled out. And as the runabout clears the Lucara fully, the rifts detonates, and the entire Crusade Armada vanishes. With two notable exceptions. The Lucara does vanish, but a moment later it reappears. And Masaka's flagship fades out and then reappears again in a blinding yellow flash.
Pharrell immediately covers his eyes from the flash, like, damn, what the hell is going on out there?
Looks like we get to kill a god.
Surely.
Oh no, I now have to say it. Why does God need a starship?
Good reference. Naz, from your perspective, the Lucara did fall completely into the void. And then suddenly you're back in real space. And you don't think you've ever seen Taket quite that confused.
Wait. This wasn't the plan. We're supposed to die gloriously for the honor of Starfleet.
And the Iconian Empire.
She reaches out and starts prodding the controls.
Nas is also going to see if she can get any weapons online. I know one thing, and that's how to shoot.
Yeah. Not really. You might be able to get the disruptors online for some short-range bursts, but the Lucara is going nowhere fast. The good news is that the servitor fleet is not approaching. They seem seriously confused and awaiting orders. So for right now, it's just you, the runabout lurking behind you, and that massive great arc ship, which is drifting.
Drifting?
It appears to be in an emergency power state.
Did that rift also drain that arc of some of its energy?
Or did Masaka burn all of her energy supplies to avoid being sucked through?
Oh.
We just blue screen to God.
And whatever the truth, you don't have the firepower to destroy that thing. It's a good question as to whether the fleet at 234 could destroy this even with the shields down. But the shields are down.
Nas is going to hail the runabout.
This is the runabout. Nas, what the hell is going on over there?
I'm not sure.
Don't get
To
me
be
wrong.
honest.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad to see you, but this isn't exactly what we planned.
No, it really isn't. But the support fleet is still there, and Masaka's shields appear to be down. I think we might want to go through that rather than try to run the gauntlet of that picket force.
My plans have not changed, and it would appear to be more vital than ever that someone can confront the Sun Goddess directly.
I don't like the idea of leaving her to her own devices either. We have an advantage. What sort of advantage, I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I think we should take it.
Do we have explosives?
We have a Lucara.
From my readings, Nas, that ship is barely any better off than Masaka's vessel.
Does kind of pokes around at the console to see if she can get engine power?
You want to ram it?
Or pull the ship into Masaka's ship and then scuttle it. It's got an antimatter reactor, right?
Sure.
But there's still the question if it'll even do squat.
Yeah, well, I think Naz's first step is to get on board and see what's there to be seen first anyway.
If you wish to take my thoughts on the matter, you should signal your fleet. Tell them to come here. They should be able to handle those remnants out there. In the meantime, we should board that vessel and find a way to neutralize the goddess, or at the very least cripple the ship itself. Without that shell, she will be formidable, but she will be limited. What happens there, I do not know, but that is my plan for now.
Taket, you must be part telepath, because I was thinking the same thing.
I concur, Captain Taket. I think it's imperative.
It is a golden opportunity.
I will signal the fleet, Captain. We'll make our way over as quickly as possible.
Well, you get the ball rolling there. The remnants of the skeleton crew, both on the runabout and on the Lucara, offer to basically try and patch up the Lucara and get into a position where they can fend off anyone who tries to come in and reinforce the flagship. The Lakara is not in the greatest of shape, but it should be able to manage until your support fleet arrives.
Do we want to dock the runabout back on the Lucara, or just keep it spaceborne to fight the remnant fleet?
You might need to use the runabout to board the Ark.
Okay.
That armor is messing with your sense of something awful. Transporters would be exciting.
Fair enough.
I guess we're coming back to get picked up anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, may as well
pick it up.
just dock.
Alrighty.
So I have a quick thought before we jump too far.
Sure.
I had this idea that maybe Vinta or maybe someone on the team kind of remembers that situation when last time someone had dealt with Masaka of maybe generating the Gargano mask for, if anything, could be used as confusion.
Yeah, having the that's definitely something which you could look at doing, and I would highly recommend getting a datapad or two with the Crusade language, as what little you know of it. But you do also have Crusader with you, so that'll help.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say maybe before he gets off the runabout, he does that, or at least suggests it to someone. Hey, maybe we should generate that mask. From his research, from when the Nightingale almost got turned into one of those probe things, and his research knowing how they handled it on the Enterprise D, or with the mask, he figures it'd be helpful.
Yep. Alrighty.
Pharrell gives a nod.
Just going to replicate that, or...
Well, before we do that, I was gonna do a bit of a dialogue thing here. Pharrell gives a nod at Ventot's idea. Commander Rannis to Keds. Would the Mask of Gorgano have any impact on Masaka?
There's a long pause. For some reason, that name gives me a headache.
I did not know if I should take that as a good sign or a bad sign.
I don't have it anymore. I know that name from the dream. It's the name of the moon, but it's like an emptiness in the sky. Something that should be there that isn't.
Our records show from when Starfleet last encountered encountered a probe containing Crusade culture. Gorgano was the only thing that could stop Masaka, or at least tinder her.
Gorgano is the avatar of darkness. It's like a half-remembered dream which has been overwritten by the morass that is the Crusade collective memory. But... Masaka's Ark is the oldest vessel in the fleet. It's possible we will be able to access records in there which might answer everyone's questions. In the meantime, given how disoriented just thinking about this has made me, that sounds like a good plan.
Oh. Nice thought, Ventos. Let's get on this Gorgano idea.
I knew making sure I studied that full situation would come in handy. He's actually a bit more relaxed now that he's on the run, about knowing he's about where to go on. That thing kind of, it's just making him dizzy. Alright, he replicates the mask and Because who
Wait.
wants the job if we have to use this?
Quick pause on that. Would we be able to replicate that on the Lucara, or would we have to be on the Sokka's Ark to do anything about that?
Good question.
I mean, you can replicate the appearance of the thing. That's from Federation records.
Okay.
As far as using the Crusade metamorphic technology goes, I mean, from what Taket's saying, there's no guarantee that is even in the Crusade records. It may or may not. Who knows? Remember, the Crusade is not quite the same thing as the Darcy. There's like 60-odd million years in between them.
Yeah. We'll figure things out.
I have faith in you. But the police don't. Alright, so, you replicate the mask, and, swap some crew around, and you're heading over to the Ark?
Yes.
Alright.
Now, who will we actually be needing for the trip to the Ark? Because I'm wondering if we'll need like at least 1 or 2 people back on the Lucara to get her back into the fight, so to speak, like engine-wise and all that.
I don't think we're going to bother with the Lucara.
I'm just going to say it flat out, OOC. Anyone who doesn't come here, you're basically out of the game. Because the entirety of the rest of the campaign is on board the Ark.
Okay, fair enough.
And let's just assume that we have Klingon engineers capable of getting the Lucara back up and running.
Yeah.
Alright, just wanted to...
They would know much better than I would, or Mintot would.
Yeah, see, I think we can safely ignore the Lucara. It's done its job, and basically getting it back into fighting order would require a shipyard, which we neither have nor have the time for. So,
Yep.
worrying about that at this juncture, I'd say don't worry about it. That's not going to be our objective.
Alright. You undock from the Lucara and cruise
Again.
towards this colossal starship. Like, you approach and it's like that shot in Star Wars as they're approaching the Death Star.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's just
It
the
just
view
keeps
just expanding, and you keep seeing more details, and you just keep realizing, oh wait, we're still quite a way away.
it just keeps getting bigger.
Like, are we getting closer, or is that thing getting bigger?
Yes.
Mintot just listens in the back and then he looks down at the helmet and goes, and he picks it up and puts it back on.
Well,
Do we even want that? Does Vintot even want that helmet? Because remember, that's just a facsimile. Like, it's not going to do anything against if we have to fight Crusaders.
yeah, but it might fool them to look at it.
Fair enough. Pharrell has basically just kept the entire Crusader ensemble since they left. He's been kind of curiously enjoying the feel of it.
Yeah, every advantage helps, and we knew just from Vintot's freak out. I guess I didn't say it, but he did take off his helmet tech so he could breathe properly while he was working.
You approach what, from a distance, looks like a moderate-sized shuttle bay. By the time you land in it, you realize you could probably fit an Excelsior class in here. And in fact, it appears to be partly a launch bay for gunships, and an actual dry dock for the destroyers. Like, it's very possible that these arcs are so big not just to contain the population, not just to provide mobile fortresses, but to actually act as mobile dry docks.
I'm not surprised at that.
I mean, there are some larger areas elsewhere which might be able to service the carriers even. So it's a big ship. But you touch down, and the whole thing feels quiet. Like, the immediate area around you is relatively conventional. Like, this is Shuttle Bay. The control systems look pretty alien. But, you haven't really run into anything seriously metamorphic or mind-bending yet.
Is there any Crusaders in sight?
Nope. Dead quiet.
I already hate being on this ship now.
Sorry, another thought that just came to me. Would it be odd to see Klingons on this ship?
Yes. Probably.
And we have at least one person who's in the disguise of a Klingon. Or two.
You've got two Klingons, 3 Crusaders, and a Gorn.
Yeah. Bjorn and Talia are Klingons.
Okay. Well, then in that case, now we've gone from we've gone to the Wookiee thing times 3. Klingon prisoners.
You might be able to pass off under the circumstances. But yeah, this is going to be weird. You don't even know what situation the ship's going to be in. Anyway, you head towards what appears to be the exit into the main ship, with Ticket taking the lead, of course. She's actually given you back the... Actually, no, she's got a rifle on her back as well, just in case.
You can never be too prepared.
But just for future reference, if it does come to a fight, now she's going to give you the spear.
Yay! Because I seem to have better luck in close combat than at range anyway, for some reason.
God, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you beat you beat Taket in close combat. Like, Taket is a heroic NPC, which means that she is flat out superior to a player character in every way.
Unless you stick Nas in that fight.
Apparently.
Yeah, you just front loaded the dice and hit her so hard that I couldn't keep her up, even with GM cheating.
I am so proud of that.
It was pretty damn impressive.
Don't mess with a Gorn.
I'll figure I'll pick up the stats for that spear in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll deal with it
if it becomes necessary. Yeah.
But you come to the exit, and as you see Ticket reach out to the control panel, you suddenly realize, oh boy, I really hope we don't have to navigate this place without her, because she cycles through a number of symbols, and the doors in front of you shift, new symbols appear on them, and then the door opens.
Even
You're
with
pretty sure this is not the room or the corridor that would have been beyond if you had just opened the door.
Oh, trying to hull map this ship would give me a headache, wouldn't it?
I don't believe it would even be possible.
Even with my Inventot's experience with the internal sun, I don't think we would be able to navigate. We would have been able to navigate this safely.
You
If
step
at
into
all.
the corridor. Yeah, sorry.
You're fine.
You step in. God damn it. You finish, go ahead.
No, I was finished. I was just saying that you're fine.
Okay. You step into the corridor, and you have to remind yourself that you're on a starship. Like, you have to look behind you and see the clean metal and space beyond. Because this feels more like stone. Like, if you touch it or scan it, it's still metal, but the appearance, the ornamentation, it feels more like the corridors of a stone temple, almost. And there's even plants. Like the sort of things which you might find in a jungle climate. It's really weird.
This is really a strange place, guys. Looking around and scanning.
But also fitting.
Given the records of the Enterprise D, I'm not entirely surprised, but it's still eerie.
You start walking along, and you do actually start hearing music. It's very faint, almost like you almost think you imagined it. But this is almost what you're hearing. Just gently on the edge of your consciousness.
Am I hearing things?
No. It's the echo.
Is this part of the dream I take?
Exactly. The music floats through the ships, binds us all together, reminds us of home.
If the situation weren't, as it were, I'd be entirely fascinated by this.
It seems kind of peppy.
It's a
For
good
what I'm
dream.
expecting. I'm expecting more something eerie, I guess.
It's a good dream. A dream of paradise. The only problem is that it's not my paradise. Nor that of anyone who's forced to think that it is.
Paradise Lost.
You proceed forwards, along through the corridors, coming to junctions where she manipulates control panels and doors appear out of nowhere, or entire rooms reconfigure. And you're still seeing no one, which does seem to actually puzzle Taquette as well.
Surely there should be someone else on the vessel.
We should have been challenged by now. Something very strange has occurred. Do a scan. You. She indicates Pharrell. Scan for anaphasic energy signatures.
Is it possible that maybe the when this thing phased out, it left all the Crusaders behind?
I'm wondering the same. Well, let's find out. Difficulty of 1, I take?
Yep.
Reason science?
Yep. Alrighty.
Gets us 1 momentum back.
Yes, it does. You're not picking up any.
I got nothing. Nothing but us. The only anaphasic signature is the one standing right by me.
I don't
Interesting.
suppose she could have used them to power her, I guess, rejection of the rift.
No. If they were killed or drained in some fashion, they would have left residue. As it is, they'd better be simply gone. At least from this deck.
Could it be, as Vintod said, that Misaka, or the fact that the transition... let me restart that. Could it be as what Vintod said, and that they got left behind back in the Crusader realm?
Possible. I do not understand how she was able to anchor this ship here. That yellow flash was unlike anything I've ever seen.
It certainly seemed to have required a great deal of energy, given that the ship was adrift afterwards. I don't think she would have intentionally left herself so vulnerable.
She must have used up a considerable amount of energy.
There must be answers somewhere on board.
Let's press forward.
Any idea where we might be able to find a computer console to get?
I'm attempting to navigate us towards the central archives. That should provide us some answers, and it will also bring us close to the core of the vessel itself. However, even using these systems, traveling a vessel this large takes time. Now, let's see if I go through this section. Alright, let's try this. Touches the panel, opens the door, and the other side is literally a jungle. And the music is no longer faint. Through the trees, you can see a city, and above there is a sky and a sun.
Whoa. Is this the holodeck?
Is this the heart? Is this the heart of the dream?
Yes. But it shouldn't exist here. It's purely a computer production. How have the metamorphics actually managed to recreate it?
You're the expert here, Tiket, but go ahead.
Are we seeing some sort of illusion?
Let's see.
You actually have a Alrighty. Gets you another momentum. It seems real enough. Like you run a scan, and to all intents and purposes, on the other side of that doorway is the surface of a planet. You're not detecting any walls. There's just a city ahead, life, a hot sun.
I'm not detecting any sort of abnormalities here, beyond the fact we're seeing a jungle paradise in the middle of a colossal ship. No holographic barrier fields, and any signs of holographic activity at all, or any kind of isomorphic projections. For all intents and purposes, we're stepping in to onto a planet-like setting.
Ticket stumbled slightly. It's not my world.
You're being drawn in again, aren't you?
It's hard to resist. She reaches out, tries to cycle to a different room. Every time that doorway opens, it's the same view.
Just an out-of-character comment. If Taket goes to the other side, we'll just have not beat her up again.
Tiket just sort of almost compulsively reaches out through the doorway. And that's where something really weird happens. As the cold metal gauntlet passes through the doorway, phases out, and is replaced with spindly fingers.
What is this?
I don't know.
There must be some sort of energy field here.
I have no doubt, but obviously my tricorder is not rated to scan for it. Even with all the modifications I've done since we've discovered the Crusaders.
This is impossible. Wait. That's... She steps through. And... as she steps through, the armor phases away. And is replaced with a tall, spindly creature with 6 eyes.
Taket?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, this has just got weirder.
Is this what you looked like before?
Yes. This is Iconian flesh. This is not how the dream goes. There is something... My head is clearing, but... I think there's something here that we need to see. every permutation forced us to come here. Every law of science that I know of, Crusade, Iconian, states that this is not possible.
Is something happening? Is the dream destabilizing?
Perhaps when one or the other, we have to go through here.
I don't know if it was asked when I had to walk away for a second. What was this room supposed to be?
This was supposed to be... Well... The first thing I tried was to get to a power access junction to take us several decks inwards. But every single section which I attempted to transmute it into resulted in this. We have no other way of proceeding. If this is like the dream, then there will be other exits within that we should be able to use to access other parts of the ship. When you're dreaming, there are functions that you can use to force yourself to wake up for system maintenance.
Well, Varel just stares at the door frame into the jungle paradise. Will anything happen to us, seeing how we're not actually part of the dream?
I have no idea.
Is it possible that our whole entire navigation of this ship as we came on board was... I'm waxing philosophical here, but now it's like seemed like as soon as we came on board that we immediately fall asleep and we're all dreaming.
It's unlikely. You don't have the neurological interfaces. We call it a dream, but it's still an artifact of technology.
Well, Varel is gonna take a breath and then step through the doorway next to Ket.
Nothing happens. You are just the same.
Vintot decides to follow. Curiosity is getting him a bit more than his fear.
Yep, same for you.
Nothing happens, still in the Crusade armor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I would expect him to disappear.
Nozzle step through.
You are still a giant lizard.
Alright.
Oh, good.
Bjorn follows as well.
I'm assuming, yeah.
I seem to be still the same Pharrell, unless somehow I'm one of my other hosts.
No, you're still Pharrell. But something interesting happens to Bjorn and Talia.
Do we change back to normal?
Yep. Your surgical alterations fade away.
And what happens if I walk back out?
They reappear.
Alright then.
So whatever this effect is, it is confined to this location.
And seems to revert any who have had alterations to themselves back to their original form, or at least in this particular instance.
So it would appear, which would be why your armor remains. It's purely clothing, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering now if we should take it off, because now it just kind of makes us look a bit more inconspicuous out here, or conspicuous, or whatever the word is.
I don't think it's going to matter, no. and it's not terribly useful in combat anyway, so...
And quite frankly, I'd rather take my chances without this damn helmet, and he takes it off.
As interesting as this was, I could do without it.
Well,
As
shall we
you're
continue?
removing the armor, there is rustling in the undergrowth nearby. And then two people emerge. And there's something kind of unnerving about them. Because they look not so much like people, but an artist's impression of a person. Like, all the details are smudged out. All you can tell is that they're kind of humanoid. There's basic features, eyes, nose, mouth, but they are entirely nondescript aside from that.
Do they see us?
Yes, they do.
Do they react to us? That's a good question.
They smile and wave. Are you new here?
You could
I
say
guess
that.
you could say that.
Wonderful. Welcome to paradise. And there, we shall call it.
We're gonna halt this up for today.
Yep,
Sounds like a plan to
That's
me.
that is where we are going to end.
Oh boy.
Very interesting. How can a planet exist inside like that?
I'm not sure it is a planet, but
It's not a
Nas is
planet.
not exactly a physicist.
It's not a planet. It's a dream.
It's a physical manifestation of the dream.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Of course, I know that I remember right from that episode of TNG. If I remember right, they could look out a window of a temple and see sky.
Well, I will tell you, I've given one small hint as to exactly what's going on here, but I will be surprised if you get it.
Do you want us to guess?
I'm not going to confirm one way or
I have a
you can
suspicion
go on, but
about these people.
go for it.
These are all people that had their minds copied in the episode of TNG that Data took on their personalities.
The people you're meeting, I mean, it's not much of a spoiler. You'll figure it out pretty quickly next episode. This is the crew of the ship. They're smudged out because they don't remember what they were. They've all
Okay,
gone
well,
on-
I guess I was wrong. Wow. I am curious. We're going to meet again next weekend, right?
Yep.
That
Okay.
is the plan.
I'm not sure if that'll be part 2 of this episode or part 1 of the next. It's all just kind of blurred together because there's not a solid delineation between the two.
Gotcha.
With the way that I kind of reworked things.
It's kind of a two-parter finale.
Yeah, that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
part 1 could be the moon also rises, and part 2 could be the final hunt.
Yep. But yeah, the clue is in something specific about the way I described how the arc reappeared. But that is all that I will
It
say
phased in
on
and
it.
out, and it flashed. Yeah. I'll just
Anyway,
wait and be surprised.
Doubt it has something to do.
is everyone enjoying it? Everyone having fun?
Oh
Ooh,
God,
hey,
yes.
Yes.
It's a
Indeed.
story. It's a great story.
It's
So
Yeah, it was. I went back and forth on this particular twist quite a lot, but I think the way that I've done it should work quite interestingly. I mean, it's fairly obvious at this point. Masaka is not Darase, but she is of a race that you have encountered, or which is Star Trek canon, rather. So,
one real quick question, just for sake logistics: who is carrying the mask we replicated? I would think it was me, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Probably Bjorn, since he has pockets.
it's true. Pockets are good.
Pockets are really good.
Bjorn is the only one who has earned the privilege of pockets.
Alrighty. Yeah. Okay, so unless anyone else has any other questions, then I will sign us out and then head off.
Not at present.
Alrighty.
Is everything wrapped up for the stream?
I'm waiting for our tagline.
Yep, I figured you were. So yes, we probably have 2 more weeks left in this. Maybe 1, depending on how quickly you work your way through this. The rest of the campaign is heavy on the talking, low on the rolling in general. But we'll see how it goes. But either way, we do hope that you will join us once again when we return among the Embers.